Hello, class. How is everyone doing today? Welcome to day 2 of week 2. All right. So, as we talked about before, our second class is most likely always going to be a recorded class. So that's what this is right now. This is a recording. Before we dive into any new material of what we're going to do today, I would like to go over what we talked about last class. Can anyone remember what we were learning about last class? What's that word that we learned about? Let's think. Habitat. We learned about habitats, and we learned about what a habitat was. Can anyone think real hard and remember the definition of habitat? Remember, we wrote them in our notebooks. So if you have any issues, let's just go back to our notebooks. Boom, I have it right here. It says, it's backwards. It may be backwards, I'm sorry. But it says a habitat is a natural environment where specific plants and animals live and grow. So that's what we learned about last week. And we learned about how we're going to be investigating and we're going to be observing habitats to investigate a problem that's over in the Bengal tiger reserves all the way in India. So remember that there's something wrong with their trees, and that's our issue. That's the issue we're trying to figure out. But first, we have to learn how to study habitats, right? So right now, we're all going to watch a brain pop video together. Now, throughout this course, we may bring in some brain pop videos, and it's easy to watch them in class while we're in school because the teacher already has it pulled up, right? Well, you may not have the password. So guess what? On your stream right here, oh, let me share my screen real quick so you can see it. Awesome. So right here, you'll see what your stream looks like on Google Classroom. All right. Right here, it says hello second grade. Below is the login and password for BrainPop. We will use BrainPop for some lessons, so make sure you save it. All right. So the username is Vision Prep, all lowercase, all one word. The password is first, lowercase, okay? Right now, you don't have to worry about it because I'm about to play the video. I already have it pulled up, and I'm about to play the video right now. And you'll be able to go back and listen to this. But as you can see over here on the right, there's quizzes, games that you can play, worksheets over habitats. So if you want to do any extra stuff, you'll have to log in, okay? So right now, let's watch this video. See, make sure I'm logged in. Boom, there we go. So we'll make this bigger and let's watch this, okay? Oh, my sound isn't up. That's my bad. Before we start, I would just like to make a note that your assignment after this class is going to be notes from this video, okay? So what we're going to do, I'm going to record it right now. We're all going to watch it right now. Then your job is to go into your classwork, get the notes, rewatch it, and fill in the notes and upload it, okay? Let's just watch the video right now together, and then I'll show you how to do the other stuff, okay? Let's go.
Nothing will stop my diabolical plan to sink Tasmania. Certainly not some woodland rodent.
You may be an evil genius, Dr. Platypus, but let's get one thing straight. Rabbits are not rodents!
Hey, Moby, I think I see a mountain cottontail. This isn't what I meant when I invited you to come rabbit watching with me. Dear Tim and Moby, taking care of my pet bunny, Pebbles, is a lot of work. How do all the rabbits in the forest take care of themselves? From Kira. Aw, look, it's a picture of Pebbles. I don't have a pet rabbit, but I know they need at least a few basic things. A home, food, water, and waste cleanup. Wild rabbits need all that too, but they get it from their ecosystem. A group of living things interacting with each other and their environment. It can include thousands of different species or types of organisms. Here, it's brush rabbits, redwoods, and gray foxes, plus countless species of birds, plants, insects, and microbes. Every individual is part of a population, all the members of the same species that live there. And all of the populations in an ecosystem form its community. Their differences give this ecosystem the power to support so much life. One creature's trash is another's treasure. A problem for one species is an opportunity for another. In ecosystems, living things form a network that provides for each of their needs. You're right, the environment's really important too. You'll never find rabbits living underwater. Like all organisms, they need the right habitat or place to live. Somewhere with air to breathe and land to hop around. Their habitat also has to include other living things, like grasses to munch and bushes to hide in. Those organisms help rabbits survive. Other creatures in the community make it harder. Yeah, that word, community, can make it sound like everyone's looking out for each other. They're not. Up close, individuals are often fighting one another for survival. But this struggle helps keep the ecosystem as a whole stable. If every individual survived and reproduced, populations would keep growing endlessly, which doesn't happen because resources like space and water are limited. Ecosystems force species to make the most of what's available. Their success depends on how effectively they can use the living and non-living things in their habitat. This activity defines the species' role or niche in an ecosystem. Well, niches fall into three big categories, and they all have to do with food. First up, producers. They make their own food, usually with energy from sunlight. Producers are the power plant of every ecosystem, whether on land or at sea. They bring in energy, and organisms throughout the ecosystem use it up. On land, most producers are plants. They use most of the energy they get from sunlight to live, grow, and reproduce. And they store the rest of it in their bodies. When a bunny eats a plant, it gets some of that leftover energy. Since rabbits have to eat or consume other organisms to survive, they're called consumers. If a fox eats a bunny, then it gets some of the energy the bunny got from plants. So, all the energy in ecosystems ultimately comes from the sun. Now, bunnies and foxes do a lot more than just consume. When rabbits eat plants, they can help spread that plant's seeds. When foxes eat other animals, they leave some scraps behind. Those scraps become food for scavengers, like certain insects. And whatever's left goes to my personal favorites, the decomposers. This group includes fungi, like mushrooms, and many microbes, like bacteria. For them, food is dead stuff and poop. Decomposers break all that down and return the nutrients to the environment. If it weren't for them, nasty stuff would just pile up, like if you'd never cleaned your rabbit's litter box. Decomposers recycle the matter back into the soil, water, and air. Yeah, it's weird to think about. Living and non-living things are made of the same ingredients, just rearranged. These ingredients move around different parts of the planet in cycles. Like, you've probably heard of the water cycle. It's how water moves between the sky, earth, and living things. Trillions of gallons of water are stored in the world's organisms. Another key ingredient for living things is a material called carbon. It moves through the living and non-living parts of Earth too, through the carbon cycle. Organisms use carbon to build their bodies. That's why we say life is carbon-based. When organisms die, decomposers break them down and return that carbon to the environment. In the air, carbon is usually found in a molecule called carbon dioxide. Animals breathe out CO2, and plants suck it in. But lately, this natural balance has been thrown off by one animal: humans. Things like cars, planes, and factories release tons of CO2, more than plants can suck in. Carbon is building up in the air, leading to all kinds of problems. Average temperatures are rising worldwide, and weather is becoming more violent and unpredictable. This shakeup in long-term weather patterns is called climate change. It's a signal that humans are using more resources than the planet can sustainably support. We're just one part of the global ecosystem, and resources are limited. We still depend on nature for clean water, breathable air, pollination for our crops. So far, technologies like energy production and agriculture have helped us keep thriving. But they've also put enormous stress on other species and their habitats. Ecosystems do a whole lot for us. We gotta take care of them too. Rabbits are strictly terrestrial. How many times do I have to...
All right. So I know there was a lot of information in that one little video, but the good thing is you can go over and watch it over and over and over again. The main thing I want you to grab from that is how a habitat has so many things working together to help each other live, and how plants and animals, they help each other. So like he was talking about the producers, they help provide food for the consumers. So the plants are producers, we or animals are consumers. We eat that and get energy.